So from being the last off the wall, age of 12, at the age of 18, I was playing for England. And that's an incredible, and it was just a mindset change. Just something changed in here. My uncle did something, and it changed everything. But it's not very clear. On the back of my head, there's something called hair. Can you see that? It's not very... That's better. Look at that. Fantastic. Look at that. I love that. I used to love that hair. I used to look after it, comb it, wash it, and I miss that hair. I miss it. Andre Agassi, do you remember him? His dad said to him, if you hit the ball harder than anyone else in the world, you'll be number one. And he was the hardest hitter in the game, double hands both ways. He's an incredible player. He got to number one. He won 2 major titles, and then suddenly the other players were starting to catch him up. And then he started losing the finals, losing the semi-finals, losing the quarterfinals, and he packed up. He said, I can't do it anymore. I can't hit it any harder. And so he went overweight, he was eating chips, on drugs, and he out the top 50. It was all over. And then suddenly, someone said something to him that changed his life, like my uncle and the GP for Dame Kelly Holmes. And there was this coach, and he said, these other guys are using a new technique called visualization and inner voice techniques. So he started to use his mind to visualize the outcome, what he wants, to see it, and inner voice, which is a positive talk, positive inner voice, and suddenly everything changed. So that's him there with that wonderful haircut. And when he came back from this sabbatical, if you like, he won 26 titles, 5 Grand Slams, and the Olympic gold. That's how good he was afterwards when he started using his mind. That's the power of the mind. And he came back with a better hairstyle. Look at that. Fantastic. Love that. Look at that. Yes. It does work. Brilliant. And that's what he said. I used to think my mind wasn't important, but it is. And the minute he got it, that was it. And that's what I work on with my business. It's all about this, in my opinion. You can do so much with that, with the right attitude. So there he is. What do you think? Close? No. It's not, is it? That's terrible. Zig Ziglar is a guy who was a brilliant motivation speaker. He passed away last year. He used to get a pump like this on the screen there, chrome-plated on the stage, and at the end of his talk, he'd go to it and say, life's like a pump. You have to prime the pump, and you start pumping. And you start pumping, and the water's 100 foot down, and it's coming up, but it takes about 10 minutes. You have to keep going. And if you don't keep going, it goes all the way back down again. So you've got to keep pumping, but you have to believe it's coming. Benefits of mental toughness. Quite simply, number one, you're like a lion. When you've got this mental toughness and there's 5 key pillars instilled in you, you walk about. A lion doesn't go attacking other animals. It just walks about and they back off. So you've got this authority around you. You've got this feeling that you're doing well. And you're kind of good at what you know it. So that's number one. Number two, you bounce back really quick out of adversity. I used to have a situation where many years ago I was going for this particular contract. And I didn't get it. I was devastated, so bad that for 4 days I was moping. I was coming in late, going home early. I wasn't working, demotivated. And then suddenly, I got another contract. I was happy again, but I'd lost 4 days. Last year, I was in Wales trying to get a big contract. And at the last minute, they said no. And I was devastated. I was down. I was really down for 1 hour. I then chose to stop. So that's it. What's good in my life? I've got some great things happening. Let's focus on those, not on that. And everything was great. I had a good day, good week, good month. So you can choose with that for bounce back ability. Confidence is that quiet confidence inside, which is really important. Then you've got consistent delivery. You're not up one day, down the next. Then you're not. No one knows who's going to turn up in the morning. You're consistent every day with mental toughness. And finally, you've got confidence. Johnny Wilkinson was the great... He did 2 things I like. One is he took pressure really well, so you perform under pressure when you have mental toughness. But secondly, he had that pose, that funny pose. He used to do that. What he was doing was visualizing the ball going through the post over and over and over. And then he'd kick it, and that helped him, which is amazing. So finally, I'm going to show you a confidence clip as I'm closing now. On confidence. The first one is a basketball example of a halftime show, about 50,000 people in the audience. And they're doing these tricks off the trampolines. That's the first clip. The second clip shows you a young lad who's very nervous, and he gets it really wrong. So the first one, how it should be done. The second one, it goes really wrong. Because of this. There was something wrong in there with his confidence. So let's see. And the gorilla dunks it. Here we go, the second one. Watch his chin, he catches his chin on the steel, solid steel. Like, but he had the sense to get out quick, didn't he? And what it was he got so nervous that he wanted to put a bit extra into it. So he put extra in, then he couldn't stop himself going straight through the ring. Quite remarkable. That's a real clip, that is. So when I was a young lad, as a 5-year-old, I had those problems with not being able to speak English properly. So my confidence was shot and I felt humiliated. At 12, I was the last pick off the wall. And that was extreme humiliation, that was embarrassment. At 16, I got 3 O-levels and I wasn't allowed to stay on for sixth form because I hadn't worked hard enough. So I was a bit embarrassed about that. At 18, I couldn't introduce Professor Brown to 4 students sat around a table because I was so nervous and insecure. My palms were sweating, my heart was thumping. This noise in my head was terrible and I couldn't work out what was going on. At 25, I had a career-ending injury. Where my back got a slip disc, a prolapse disc, which I've still got. I'm working with no problems now. But that ended my basketball career after 2 years, so it was shortened. I was devastated. At 33, I went through my first divorce. At 44, I went through my second divorce. Mental toughness. Had my first hip replacement, left-hand side, full hip replacement, and I was made redundant for the first time, all in 1 year, that was. At 55, I had my second hip replacement, full hip replacement here, and my second redundancy. At 56, I set up JD Mindcoach. Things were looking better. At 57, I had my first heart operation. At 58, my second and third heart operation, which worked, thank goodness. At 59, I met Julie, who sat here. Julie. At 61, I married Julie 4 months ago. The most wonderful lady in the world. Thank you, thank you. It's just amazing. And things are kind of interesting because when I was that young boy, I went to see the Harlem Globetrotters and I couldn't spin that basketball. And one of the things I've done is, you've probably seen the books out there, but I've written the book for the first time. It's launched on the 24th of October, so this weekend is pre-launch. So the special offer £10 today for those, and I'll sign everyone personally. But I saw that ball being spun by the Harlem Globetrotters, and they could do it and I couldn't do it. But I think there's 2 things to success. One is working hard on the right stuff. The second is never giving up. So I didn't give up. And I kept going, I kept trying. I thought, if I can just do this, if I can just do it just once. And eventually I got there. Thank you. And now I don't practice it anymore because I believe in life, it's not how you start in life that counts, but how you finish. Thank you very much. Thank you.